Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Andy. I hope you're doing really well wherever or whenever in the world that you are. Today I'm going to be talking about fantasy series that I want to start in 2023 or series that I'd like to catch up on or complete in 2023. So for the last several years, I've had a running list of all the fantasy series that I've been reading or listening to, and some I've made tons of progress, some I've not even started. And so I want to make this video, one, to hold myself accountable to actually starting and finishing these series, and two, I might be doing a few like read-alongs next year. And so if you want to join those, this is a little sneak preview into what those series read-alongs might be. The first part of this video is going to be the series that I have started and I'm hoping to catch up on or finish within the year of 2023. So the first one is The Lives of Locke Lamora by Scott Lynch. I read the first book in the Gentleman Bastard series this year and I loved it. So I purchased the audiobook for the second book, so I will absolutely be reading it. I'm not totally sure which month. Like I said in the past, I'm such a mood reader, so it's probably going to air towards when I'm in the mood to pick some big, fun fantasy series back up. But I loved the humor of that series and I loved the characters, so I can't wait to see what other shenanigans they get up to in the next books. The next series that I want to finish is the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J. Maas. I have read the first 4 books in that series, and I have downloaded the audiobook for the 5th book. I forget what it's called, Air of Fire maybe, and I just haven't read it. I like this series. I say this, or I think this often after I've read each book, is when I get to the next one, I always regret letting so much time get in between reading one book to the sequel. And I've made that mistake again because I think I read Queen of Shadows. Oh my gosh, I bet it was like back in May maybe. Ugh. So I know when I pick up Empire of Storm or Air, what's the next book? Hold on. Oh, just kidding. Air Fire was the 3rd book. I'm on Empire of Storm, so book 5. Yeah, I like this series. I think it's fun. I don't have anything else interesting to say other than I'm gonna hopefully finish it. The next series that I'm wanting to finish is the Mistborn Saga, like part 1 anyways. I read the Final Empire, oh gosh, at this point, it was maybe in like 2017 or 2018. It was a while ago, but I loved it and I just never continued on. I really want to read more Brandon Sanderson. Everything of his that I've read, I really enjoy. And so I kind of want to commit to reading more. And so I definitely want to at the very least finish this first saga of the Mistborn books. The final fantasy series that I want to finish in 2023 is the Founders Trilogy. I read the first 2 books last year and the year before with my friend Amber from work and my sister actually, and we all did kind of a buddy read. I loved the first book and I liked the second book, so I've dragged my feet a little bit picking up the 3rd book. I know it came out this past year, I think maybe in June. I will finish this trilogy, just not sure when. All right, here is the part where we're gonna talk about the series I'd like to start. Now, I'm interested in all these series for various reasons. They are all pretty popular series, so I'm not gonna go too much into the description or the synopsis. If you haven't heard of them, I definitely would recommend looking them up on Goodreads or Googling them. I'm certainly not gonna do them justice. So the first series that I would like to read next year is the Stormlight Archives, and I do plan on including it in a TBR of some kind or doing a read-along next year. So if you have any interest in joining me in the read-along, it'll be my first time reading Brandon Sanderson, the Stormlight Archives. I'm a little intimidated, but I love big, epic, sweeping fantasy series with lots of characters, lots of regions, maps. I love that stuff. So I can't imagine I won't enjoy this. I'm very excited and a little bit nervous to start Stormlight Archives. The next series that I'm gonna read, hopefully next year in 2023, is The Poppy War. And this is one, I honestly don't know how I'm gonna feel about this. I've heard really mixed reviews kind of about the first book, but also how the series comes to a close. And I don't know if this is gonna be my cup of tea. I do like a morally gray main character, and I like historical fiction. I know that this is sort of blending historical fiction and fantasy, and so I think I'm gonna like this, but I'm not sure. My plan is to read like book 1 sometime in the first quarter of the year, book 2 maybe in the next quarter, I don't know. I am more of like a series binger, so I have a feeling that if I really like it, I'll probably read it back to back, but yeah, to be determined. I'm gonna hopefully read it next year. Another series that I want to start and finish maybe in 2023 is the Faith in the Fallen series by Gwynne. I don't know that I've read anything by this author, but again, I feel like it's very much in the vein of Brandon Sanderson and Michael J. Sullivan, and they're authors that I really like. And I really haven't read a lot of the like classic fantasy series, or I don't know, like some of the more dated ones that came out not in the last 5 or 8 years. Do you know what I mean? This is another one where I actually don't know much about the premise, but I think I'm gonna like it. I don't know. We'll have to see. Another series that I'm gonna try next year is the First Law Trilogy by Joe Abercrombie. Abercrombie? I think that's how you say his name. This is what I gather more of a dark fantasy where everyone is kind of a bad guy, or at least a morally gray character. And I've heard that it's a very character-driven series, which I love. I've not read many dark fantasy series. I've mentioned this in the past, but sometimes they leave me in a bit of a funk. But I've heard such good things about this, and some of the booktubers whose taste I feel like are similar to mine have really enjoyed it. So that makes me feel hopeful that maybe I'll really like it. Another series that I'm hoping to start at least in 2023 is The Legends of the First Empire by Michael J. Sullivan. I have Age of Myth. I have the physical copy. I am really excited. I read last year the Rhaeria Revelation series and I loved it. I think this one is a bit different in tone and timeline, but I love Michael J. Sullivan. I love his writing. I love his character work. I like his world buildings, the humor. So I'm certain I'm gonna really like it. The last 2 series that I'm hoping to get to in 2023, the first is the Green Bone Saga. Again, this is one I don't know how I'm gonna feel about it. I think there's part of me that is gonna like it because I do enjoy urban fantasy when it's done really well. And I feel like I've heard that this is, but I don't love a like gangster mob family kind of premise, which I also know that this is. I don't know. I'm really curious. I've heard such mixed things about this series, and I kind of want to determine for myself, am I going to like it or not? So the jury's out, but I'm going to start it next year. And the last series that I'm hoping to start in 2023 is the Books of Babel series by Josiah Bancroft. This, again, I don't know how I'm gonna feel about this one. All I know about the premise is this guy and his wife go into this weird building or tower of some kind for their honeymoon, and they get separated, and so he has to go on this quest to like find his wife. All kinds of interesting and unexpected things come up. So I don't know, I'm curious about it. So there it is. We've documented it. It is on camera that I'm gonna hold myself to these goals of starting or finishing these series next year. We'll have to do a little mid-year check-in come June to see if I've started any of these. Oh, I really hope that I have. I've had them on my bucket list or my reading list for so long. It's about time. It's about time. So anyways, that's all I got for you guys today. Let me know in the comments down below what fantasy series you're hoping to start in 2023. Are there any series that you're trying to finish next year? Do you have any series recommendations for me? Because you know I'm always gonna add more to my TBR, because why not? That's the purpose of reading, is that it's never ending. All right, Francis needs some attention, so I gotta log off here. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day or evening whenever you're watching this. If you made it to the end, go ahead and leave a little sword emoji, if that exists. Sword, knife, weapon emoji. That's fantastical, I feel like. So go ahead and leave that emoji, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.